Hi, this is Bill Parrish from BIM to SBS Consulting, and this video is going to be a quick walkthrough, really kind of a getting started on using the BIM Integration Demo that you can access here on the resources page on our website. I'm going to start this video by clicking on the demo. You can see it opening in a separate tab. Now, one of the things that I should explain is that you will first land on a page that will ask you to load the full demo. The reason for that is this demo allows you to interact with an actual controls or the building database, and with multiple users accessing the same data, there'd be the possibility of your actions impacting another viewer of the demo. So this allows you to basically kind of separate that a little bit, not totally, but separate that so that your experience is all your own. So that's the reason for the first load. And so now this load BIM integration demo, when I click on that button, it's establishing basically a session that's a little bit unique to you as a user. Now this may take up to 90 seconds to load. It kind of depends on a lot of factors: speed of your internet connection, speed of your machine. When we update the demo, when you load it, a new version for the very first time, there's actually even a chance that it may fail to load the first time. But if that happens, just try it again. And I've yet to see a situation where it doesn't load on a second attempt. Okay, so now the demo has loaded. So the first thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is the menu icon here in the upper left-hand corner. If I click on that, you see that a listing of icons drops down. Now the only icons that are active at this point in the demo are the filter, the manipulator, and the help page. And let's start with the help. This help gives you a little bit of instruction regarding how you can navigate the 3D viewport. So it says, for example, that holding your Alt key and the right mouse button allows you to zoom, as you see me doing there, zooming in and out. Holding the Alt key and your middle mouse button allows you to pan, and then the Alt key and your left mouse button allows you to orbit. So play around with that a little bit. It will be helpful for you to know how to navigate. Another thing that I should point out, as far as the tables that appear as a result of the menu, clicking the X or anywhere on this top bar will close that panel. I'll bring it back, and then if I drag the left mouse button, I can actually move the panels around the interface in case I need the panel, but it's blocking something that I want to see. Okay, the other thing that I'll bring to your attention then is the manipulator. One of the things that this demo tries to do is show you how you can create different perspectives and create different context. So one of the things you can do with the manipulator is separate the levels, and so you see the building spreading out there to allow you to have a different perspective on everything that's going there. Quickly you can see that you can remove the architectural geometry with those check boxes. The separate zones allows you to hide everything but the zones and then spread the zones out. That's designed to enable you to see the status of all the zones simultaneously for the entire building. The tour and the location are not functional in this version of the demo, but they will be at some point in the near future. The filter panel allows you to filter the geometry. One thing I'll point out here, because I'm going to use it, is if I right click in the blank space, I get a list of camera views. So you saw me click on the opening view, so that's going to move the camera back to the opening view. So one of the things you can do with the filter is that you can select different views. Now you can always select from list, or you can manually enter the view. In this case, I'm going to leave select from list checked, and when I click here, I get a drop down list. If I were to type a character here, I'm typing the character M, you see that it moves to that place in the list. So I'm going to go ahead and select the mechanical view. You see that the zones and the architectural geometry disappear, and I'm now just looking at all of the mechanical system geometry. A view that I like is the mechanical and zones, where now I see both the zones and the mechanical. One thing I like about this view is if I separate the levels, it makes it really easy, and I'm going to zoom in there, makes it really easy to see what equipment is serving a particular zone. So for example, I can see here that if I hover, I get tooltips. I can see that room 208 is served by FPB 208. Another view I might go to here from the select views, and this time I'm going to actually just type it in by unselecting the select from lists, and I'll just type in the view for room 208. And by the way, when I enter something here, I do have to press the enter key for it to take effect. Now that I've selected room 208, you see that all of the geometry is hidden except for the geometry that is relevant to room 208. In this mode, this partial visibility slider controls the visibility of the geometry that's associated with room 208. So you see if I make all of that geometry hidden, I have just room 208 left. But I can also change the visibility of all the geometry that's associated with room 208. So the things that are associated would be the fan-powered box, the corridor, and the transfer duct, and the baseboard heating. Another thing that you can do with this section of the manipulator panel is that you can zoom to specific things. Now here it's a little bit easier to do that by selecting from the list. Here I'm going to go ahead and zoom to fan-powered box 208 since I have it on the screen now. And when I hit execute, that actually zooms into that fan-powered box. So those are kind of the functions at the top of that list. At the bottom of this list, and I'm going to go ahead and take my view back to all, and move my camera out. Oh, and in this case, I still have the geometry separated. So here, another big feature is the query feature. I'm going to cover that in another video just because I like to keep these videos relatively short, and I think I've given you enough to get started. So look for another video that goes into much more detail on the query feature. I'm going to have other videos that are topic specific that do go into more detail. And this video is just designed to kind of give you a quick overview that would help you get started with using this demonstration. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, bill.parrish@bim2sbs.com. I'd be happy to get in a GoToMeeting with you, or a phone call, or get you the answers to whatever questions you may have. Again, thanks for your time and attention.